Welcome to Mystery Files, where we take a deep dive into cases that span from the strange to the truly sinister and everything in between. I'm Ryan, and today I'll be forcing my colleague Shane to hear all about the out-of-this-world story of the Rendlesham Forest UFO. And in the end, you'll have to decide whether the case is solved or if it's simply a mystery.
Hey, you want to buy one of those automatic cat feeders that you and your wife have been looking at?
Yeah, I mean, how do you know that though? Also, they're kind of expensive.
Well, this one's on sale.
Well, in that case, I'll take a look. Whoa, wait a minute. Let me check NordVPN first.
There was no automatic cat feeder. I'm gonna scam the heck out of him. I'm a scammer. Scamming's what I do.
Oh, wait, sorry, never mind. Looks like you're a scammer, so.
What? No!
Yeah, sorry. I enabled today's sponsor, NordVPN, on my phone, and its Threat Protection Pro identified you as a scammer. So beat it, chimp. Ack! Hi, I'm Shane Madej. This was a bit of a dramatization, but that threat and many others are very real, which is why we're excited to tell you more about today's sponsor, NordVPN. You know, a VPN is a tool that creates an encrypted tunnel for your data, protects your online identity by hiding your IP address, and allows you to enjoy increased security on all networks. And Nord is the fastest one out there. Not only does it protect you from harmful threats like fake websites or phishing attacks and malware. With NordVPN's dark web monitor, they'll keep scanning the seedy underbelly of the internet to find if your details have been leaked, even when you don't have NordVPN turned on. And today, you can get our exclusive NordVPN deal plus 4 months extra here at nordvpn.com/watcher. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Listen, protect yourself with NordVPN. To get our exclusive NordVPN deal plus 4 months extra, go to nordvpn.com/watcher. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't wait to become a victim. Take action before the criminals get their act together.
Are you ready for this task that's been presented to us?
You know I am, buddy.
Okay.
Wait, were you asking me or the audience?
No, I was asking you.
You're looking at the audience. Okay.
I'm ready.
And you.
I've never heard of this.
You've never heard of this?
I've heard of UFO.
Yes. Now, this is one of my favorite brand of UFO cases in that it's only cited by basically a bunch of military folks. And so they're all like, can I say something? Are you going to shoot me if I go on Barbara Walters that I saw this shit?
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't tell her. They didn't tell Barbara because they're still alive.
R.I.P. Hugh Down.
Nestled between the twin air bases of RAF Woodbridge and RAF Bentwaters in the quiet woodlands of eastern England was Rendlesham Forest. The area was peaceful, dense with pine, and surrounded by farmland. Perfect for quiet walks, nature watching, cycling. It seemed like an unlikely place for one of the most infamous UFO encounters in modern history. You like quiet walks, right?
A delivery there. Most infamous in modern history. Do I like quiet walks? I do.
You do like
quiet drives too.
Is that what you say to Sarah? Quiet.
I mean,
While
when
I
I'm
drive.
alone.
Oh, when you're alone, okay.
You know, it's so easy to pop those little AirPods in.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I doing? I'm walking to the store, listen to a podcast. Oh, listen to the latest rock and roll album. You know what? Every now and then, turn it off.
Turn it all off.
Live with yourself, for the love of God. You know? Sorry, you gotta sometimes. You gotta learn to love yourself and live with yourself, you know? So I encourage you all at home to try out a little silence here and there.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you find the woods inherently creepy or dangerous, or do you find them a peaceful, serene place?
I love them. I love them during the daytime. I love walking around them at night, hearing the owls.
Okay, I agree with you with the first part.
Yeah.
Walking around at night, no bueno. By all accounts, the night of December 26th, 1980 began unremarkably. But in the early hours of that morning, approximately 3 a.m., US Airforce serviceman John Burroughs and James Penniston were on patrol near the east gate of RAF Woodbridge when they noticed something strange in the forest. Assuming an aircraft had gone down, the men ventured into the woods, joined by Airman First Class Ed Cappensag and Master Sergeant J.D. Chandler to investigate. What they found, according to them, was not a conventional crash site. No smoke, no debris, no downed plane. As they made their way through the forest, their radios began to fail. Cappensag and Chandler stayed with the vehicle to maintain contact with the base, while Burroughs and Penniston continued deeper into the trees.
Thank you.
What did they see? I'll give you a big hint. It was in the title.
Oh, a UFO?
Yeah. The deeper they went, the stranger things became. The trees around them seemed to glow, and the air buzzed with static electricity. Penniston elaborates, I entered the bubble field, the area immediately around the craft first. John was over to my right, about 10 feet and a couple feet back. The silence was then the most prominent part of it. The area or field seemed dead. The air, no sound. No rustling of air or wind, no distant sounds, no animals or nothing. A dead silence. A strong static on clothes, hair and skin being pulled towards the light.
This is crazy. This sounds like something out of the twisted mind of John Krasinski.
You gotta, whatever beef you have with John Krasinski, I wish you'd grill it and eat it because I'm tired of hearing about it, okay? A small clearing ahead sat a craft of unidentifiable origin, smooth, black, triangular, and utterly silent. Now, this is not an actual photograph of the
Oh, I was
craft.
gonna say, well, you really got a good shot of it here.
This is a photograph of the trail that people could actually hike, and this is a statue they made of the craft. This is not the craft.
That looks cool.
It could be. Maybe one day it'll start like vibrating and then it will take off.
That'd be baller.
Approximately 3 meters wide at the base and 2 meters high, it appeared to stand on fixed legs and glowed faintly, pulsing red and blue light along its surface. Penniston, reportedly the only one to get close enough to physically interact with the object, described seeing strange symbols etched along the hull, resembling Egyptian hieroglyphics. He even sketched them in a notebook the very next day. I actually have some of my own.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, I got these tattooed all over my chest.
Yeah, I want to see my new chest tat.
I love this episode.
But no, these are the real hieroglyphics.
What do those glyphs mean? Where we go one, we go all? Is that what you told me?
It says Ryan.
Oh, Ryan, okay.
Now, that seems really lame, right?
Yeah.
I don't take this necklace off ever. And it's like, what does the profound meaning of
So I don't forget my name.
it's if I ever meet an alien, they'll be like, Ryan. I guess this whole thing, if you think this dude is lying, it's feeding the theory of like ancient aliens.
So are the things on this sculpture pretty close to the things that he sketched?
According to him, these are recreations of what he says he saw. Penniston described what he felt when he touched the craft. Quote, the skin of the craft was smooth to touch, almost like running your hand over glass, void of seams or imperfections, until I ran my fingers over the symbols. The symbols were nothing like the rest of the craft. They were rough, like running fingers over sandpaper.
Okay, yeah. He described what a smooth and a rough thing is, yeah.
I would imagine that a UFO would be so smooth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like in front of Space Mountain, I'm not just trying to bring up theme parks here, but a lot of places will have these like big balls that are like in water.
The wet balls.
Yeah, and you touch the wet ball.
You think it feels like wet ball?
I bet you it feels like wet ball.
Yeah.
After touching the craft, a blinding white light burst from the object, and in that moment, the object lifted off without a sound. No engine roar, no wind displacement, and was just gone, leaving behind only a patch of disturbed soil, broken tree branches, and 3 impressions in the ground.
If a ship in front of me took off completely silently, I think I'd just laugh. It's kind of funny.
No, I mean, I honestly think I would too, because I would be too scared to have any kind of real reaction. We would be the 2 worst people to see this, by the way.
flip the script.
Oh.
You're an alien, you're in the ship.
And you're talking to your crewmates like, that means big tall one, big small one.
That's us, yeah.
That's us too.
Before you up into the atmosphere,
Yeah.
you give a little peek out and go like, hi boys.
Or like flip the bird, like a little bit like.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe if your mission is secrecy, you've already failed, so you might as well have a little fun.
They got
because-
you. Yeah.
They don't got you because really only 2 people saw. They didn't take any pictures, so it's really just their word versus.
So you might as well make it ridiculous.
The more ridiculous, actually, the more unbelievable the story will be. So it actually behoove you to be ridiculous. After leaving the clearing, Penniston and Burroughs rejoined the rest of their team and made their way back to RAF Bentwaters. When they returned, they realized more time had passed than they thought. enough that a search party had nearly been deployed due to their prolonged absence and radio silence. Though Peniston chalked it up to adrenaline, their watches told a different story. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the base, other military personnel had also spotted the unusual lights, some watching from high vantage points, like the Bentwaters control tower. What happened in the nights to come would propel Rendlesham into international headlines, drawing in high-ranking officers, radiation teams, and curious media from around the world. By the second night, word of the strange encounter had started to circulate among personnel. Some chalked it up to misidentified lights or nerves. Others weren't so sure. Patrols moved through the forest with a little more caution now, watching the tree line. And one man, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Halt, was about to step into the story himself. At that time, Charles Halt was the deputy base commander at RAF Bentwaters, high-ranking, well-respected, and not the sort of man prone to chasing alien lights through the woods. Colonel Charles Halt had heard the rumors, how Peniston and Burroughs claimed to have seen something unusual in the woods. But on the next night, December 27th, when a base commander alerted him that the lights had returned, Halt decided it was time to investigate. He organized a team: Lieutenant Bruce England, Sergeant Monroe Nevels, and Master Sergeant Bobby Ball. And this time, Halt would lead the team himself. What followed is one of the most extraordinary and well-documented encounters in alleged UFO history. Really funny sentence, because you just say alleged. One of the most documented alleged things. Yeah. But pretty compelling. 2 nights in a row, now we have a high-ranking officer assembling a search squad to go investigate the same phenomena.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Are you excited to hear what happened?
I am.
Halt brought the team of servicemen into the forest, armed with flashlights, Geiger counters, a radiation monitor, and a handheld cassette recorder. The result is the now infamous Halt tape, a grainy, eerie 18-minute audio file that captures the group's journey through the trees, their tense voices rising as strange lights appeared in the sky, and the instruments began behaving erratically. This is all real. Let's take a listen.
Okay, we're now approaching area within about 25, 30 feet. What kind of readings are we getting? Anything? Just minor clicks. Okay, let's go to the center. Yes, that's the best deflection needle I've seen yet. Now it's picking up. This is our number 1 indentation where we first got the strongest reading. Yeah, it's similar to what we got in the center. We got a small blast, what looks like a blasted or struck up area here. We got very positive readings. See, is that here the center? Yes, it is. This is what we would assume would be. Yeah, this is an awkward thing to use, isn't it? You're right about the abrasion. I've never seen a tree that's, never seen a pine tree that's been damaged react that fast. I'll put that in. Yeah, you can see every we are getting it.
It is so apparent this is the first time they've ever used a Geiger counter in their lives.
Oh, is that what they're using?
He even says, oh, this is a real awkward thing to use, huh? And then they're like, we should collect some dirt samples. Yeah, put that in the bottle. Put that dirt in the bottle. Yeah, put it right there like that. We're not dealing with folks who, as you would say, are exercising the scientific method here.
Top men.
No, we're not dealing with top men. We're dealing with guys that are like, this is neat.
Yeah.
We are getting an indication of a heat source coming out of that center spot, which will show up on a heat or some form of energy. It's hardly heat at this stage of the game. It's looking directly overhead. One can see an opening in the trees, plus some freshly broken pine branches on the ground underneath. Looks like some of them came off about 15 to 20 feet up. Some small branches about an inch or less in diameter. Zero 148, we're hearing very strange sounds out of the farmers' barnyard animals. They're very, very active, making an awful lot of noise. Definite pigmentation. You just saw a light where? Wait, I noticed where? Right in this position here, straight ahead, in between the tree. There it is again. Watch straight ahead off my flashlight there. So there it is. Hey, I see it too. What is it? We don't know, sir. So can I get some? Yeah, it's a strange, small red light. Looks to be maybe a quarter to half mile, maybe further out. I switch off it. The light is gone now. It was approximately 120 degrees from the site. Is it back again? Yes, sir. There's no doubt about it. There's some kind of strange flashing red light again. Yellow. I saw a yellow tinge in it too. Weird. It appears to be maybe moving a little bit this way. It's brighter than it has been. Yellow. It's coming this way. It is definitely coming this way. shoot pieces of the train off. There is no doubt about it. This is weird. To the left? Yeah, definitely in the left. Two lights. One light to the front, one light to the left. Keep the flashlights off. Okay, we're looking at the thing. We're probably about 200 to 300 yards away. It looks like an eye winking at you. It's still moving from side to side. And when you put the star scope on it, it sort of has a hollow center, a dark center. It's like the pupil of an eye looking at you and winking. And the flash is so bright through the star scope that it almost burns your eye. Now we're observing what appears to be a beam coming down to the ground. This is unreal.
That's pretty crazy.
Dude, isn't that nuts?
It's pretty fun.
It's pretty fucking scary.
Yeah.
I don't like that they describe it as a pupil and a living like eye. Like, have you seen Nope?
I've seen Nope.
Where it's an alien craft that has like an actual like pupil
A sphincter.
behaving eye. Like,
Yeah.
I found that to be incredibly unnerving and scary. But what do you think?
It's compelling audio.
Yeah, because I don't think they're sensationalizing either. They're just describing what they're seeing.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking over each other. I guess they're excited.
Yeah, I mean,
I really wish they would have brought a camera out there with them.
that part when they're like, oh, it's coming towards us. Oh, no, it's definitely coming towards us.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It's spooky.
Also, I like that they confirmed that there was a clearing in the trees above. There were branches broken as if something went 15
that's
to 20
very
feet
interesting
off.
to me.
And that there were actually abrasions in the ground with heat signature in the middle. I think that's all really cool.
I think that is cool.
At one point, Halt can be heard saying, quote, "We see strange strobe-like flashes to the rather sporadic, but there's definitely something there, some kind of phenomenon," end quote. According to the men present, the lights were red, white, and blue, dancing in the sky, darting between trees, and at one point even beaming down what appeared to be a narrow shaft of light directly onto the ground just yards away from them. But the eeriest part wasn't the lights, it was what they found at the alleged landing site. 3 depressions in the frozen ground, forming a near-perfect triangle. Branches above appeared scorched, and more intriguingly, radiation levels at the site appeared elevated. Beta-gamma readings of 0.1 milliroentgens per hour were recorded at the center of the triangle formed by the 3 depressions in the ground. Higher than the typical background level of 0.1 milliroentgens per hour is estimated to be 0.87 microsieverts per hour. A typical background radiation average is estimated between 0.05 to 0.2 microsievents per hour, although it can be different depending on geographic location, altitude, and geological conditions.
Okay.
So,
You just said a lot of numbers. It's cool.
what's funny is that you asked me for these numbers last time.
Yeah, I did.
And this is the reaction I knew I was gonna get. That's why I was like, I bet you if I give this guy numbers, he's gonna be like, yes, sure.
Yeah. No, okay. So it's average?
Slightly elevated. It goes from 0.05 to 0.2. This was at 0.87, so technically,
That's high.
basically what they found there was about 4 times the average amount, though still under 1, I suppose. So think of that what you may.
Okay.
A nearby tree also showed moderate readings of 0.05 to 0.07 milliroentgens on the side facing the depressions. That might not sound like much, but to the military personnel present, it was notable, especially when combined with the bizarre lights, malfunctioning equipment, and unsettling behavior of nearby animals. All of it added up and led Halt to file an official report. Thoughts on all that?
It seems very thorough.
I'm glad they were there.
I wish they would have brought a camera.
Me too.
Even a still camera.
They referenced a camera in the audio. Like, oh, let me point the camera over there. And I was like, where's that camera?
Yeah, where'd that go?
Enter the Halt memo. Dated January 13th, 1981, the one-page document was sent to the UK Ministry of Defense. It summarizes the sequence of events and describes unidentified lights performing extraordinary maneuvers, such as breaking into 5 separate white objects before disappearing. Calm, clinical, now declassified. In interviews over the years, Charles Halt doubled down, quote, "I can definitely tell you, we are definitely not alone. There's something here. There's no doubt it was something beyond anything we know or understand. There's no doubt about it whatsoever." You can tell he means business because he repeated himself a lot. Now, does this look like the eyes of a man who would be a fan of buffoonery?
No, I believe that these people are not fibbing about what they saw.
Halt had walked into the forest a skeptic and left a believer, a career military officer, not a conspiracy theorist. And speaking of theories, let's get into them. Theory number 1. The first and most compelling theory, UFOs. Records and logs from the night of the incident are mysteriously missing, likely pulled and classified. Perhaps like the camera. You hear the camera in the
Yeah,
tape.
they mention a camera,
But
huh?
I'm sure that's probably classified.
How come they released the tape then?
Because they give you a little taste. Let you wonder about it. Distract you from what's going on.
I don't often think about UFOs in other parts of the world.
Oh.
That's very...
So you only care about the livelihood of America.
I'm saying that's ignorant of me. I
Yeah.
guess I just haven't heard a lot of stories about UFOs from like the UK and elsewhere.
Alongside this, Colonel Charles Halt's famous audio recording captures the tense atmosphere and strange events as they unfolded on December 27th. Multiple witnesses, both junior and senior ranks, all told similar stories, adding weight to the mystery. Adding to this, Halt recently obtained new statements from retired radar operators at RAF Bentwaters and Rendlesham Airfield. Quote, I have confirmation that Bentwaters radar operators saw the object go across their 60-mile, approximately 96-kilometer scope in 2 or 3 seconds, thousands of miles an hour. He came back across their scope again, stopped near the water tower. They watched it and observed it go into the forest where we were. This thing moved fast. It moved real fast.
Thousands of miles an hour?
Makes fast thing look not fast. Interestingly, many service members were hesitant to speak out while active, pressured by superiors to keep quiet. Halt revealed that some airmen were even debriefed using drugs and hypnosis and were never the same afterward. This stigma kept much of the truth buried until after retirement, when some came forward with written testimonies supporting the UFO sightings.
That's pretty
Wait,
cool.
did you? What is that? Did you hear that?
What is that?
Okay, we're shaking hands.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Okay. Oh no, don't do that! Oh, okay. You can do that, yeah.
All right.
All right. Oh, okay.
Oh,
The alien doing the robot.
okay. Oh,
Oh yeah, that's good. And I don't know how to floss. I
as
don't.
well.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
Ryan
have any.
simply cannot floss.
How do you know how to do that? He'd been TikToking in secret. I had no idea. Damn. Well, thanks for. What am I? Oh.
Oh,
We're going. Hey, I'm going the opposite way. Sorry.
not do anything?
Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's try. Give me another chance. Give me another chance. Okay, here we go. Ready? Yeah. Hey, come on. Show them what we got. Show them what we got. Oh fuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What did you do?
Not-
What did you do?
I broke the aliens.
What did you do? You killed it!
We're gonna have to cover this up. Wow, that was something, huh?
That was crazy. You killed an alien.
I didn't kill an alien. I just maimed one. Well, what do you think?
It's tough because based on everything that we know, it does seem like a UFO. You know, I don't write off aliens, the existence of aliens.
I know.
Reports of UFOs, I'm also pretty skeptical.
I agree.
But there are ones where I do think they're kind of compelling. This is kind of compelling.
If not the top, it's got to be near the top in terms of just the number of eyewitnesses and testimony.
It's a little weird to me that they're there one night and then are spotted, and then the next night they're like, all right, let's go check
Well,
that out.
nothing happened. They're like, okay, a guy gave us a rub down.
Right, he didn't get rubbed down.
He did.
Oh, he rubbed the ship?
And then they were like, all right, we'll come back. The second popular explanation points to the nearby Orford Ness Lighthouse. It's true, the lighthouse was close enough to confuse some witnesses, and there is speculation that drugs might have influenced perceptions at the bases. However, the lighthouse wasn't visible from where the witnesses stood. More importantly, lighthouses don't direct beams of light downwards onto people, something the UFO reportedly did, shining beams directly onto Halt and his men during the sighting. Even the lighthouse keeper confirmed that what the witnesses described simply could not have been the lighthouse. And you know lighthouse keepers, they don't lie. It's part of the code.
I'm interested in this theory.
But the lighthouse keeper said it wasn't him, though.
What does he know?
Well, lighthouses. It's like
That's a good
the
point.
full description of his job.
Yeah, you got me there. I like the idea of it being a lighthouse.
Yeah, I mean, I also just like a lighthouse, so
Hey, brother.
I know you
on
do too.
that we agree.
Okay, so I personally don't think this one has any water.
Okay.
The third theory, a prank or hoax. Kevin Kahn, a former USAF policeman, admitted to driving his patrol car around using a spotlight with green and red lenses. He once thought his prank might have sparked the reports, but his prank didn't match the timeline and happened during an exercise, not on those nights. His light colors don't match the UFO's reported white, red, and blue hues, and his stunt didn't last for 2 nights like the sightings did. Plus, the idea that so many people across 2 bases would all be duped or involved in a coordinated prank feels unlikely to me.
But if one person can do that, maybe someone else could.
Yeah, but it would explain some things. It wouldn't explain the radar movement, it wouldn't explain the beam of light coming straight down, it wouldn't explain the branches being broken 15 to 20 feet from the ground, or the indentations in the ground and the burns on the trees.
Good point, unless those were all unrelated things. Which
In the same
seems
localized,
unlikely,
yeah, okay.
right?
I don't think so. Officially, the Ministry of Defense no longer handles UFO reports, maintaining that the incident may be explained by natural or man-made phenomena such as the lighthouse. However, the story remains unresolved. John Burroughs, one of the first airmen to investigate the lights, settled with the MOD in 2015 after suffering health problems believed linked to the radiation exposure during this incident. Which is, if he got a settlement, that means they had to at least be like, okay, you got this there.
You got a settlement for just getting footage of an alien?
No, radiation.
Oh.
He had radiation that was linked to the event. So that means they had to admit there was something, at least from a radiation standpoint, that happened that night.
But you said the radiation wasn't that bad.
4 times the average amount.
The average amount is like close to nothing.
Yes.
So 4 times that is...
It's still 4 times that. Like I said, it
4
depends who
times
you're.
0 is 0.
Okay, well, it wasn't 0 though, you little shit. The declassified Project Condign report even mentions, quote, unidentified aerial phenomena radiation, end quote, possibly causing injury. More recently, Halt's collection of radar operator testimonies and delayed witness statements have reignited questions. Was there a cover-up? UFO researcher John Hansen thinks so, arguing that the government's explanations don't hold up against the actual evidence. And I have to say, I agree. Yeah. So, what do you think of all this? Is it still a mystery? That's a question.
Oh, for me, it's a question for me. Yes, I think it's still a mystery. I could not say it's a UFO, no. I couldn't say that. I couldn't say it.
What could you say though?
I'm saying it's a mystery.
But if you had to pick one, like, I don't know if I believe this, but if I had to put my money on something, it would be.
I wouldn't bet on anything here. I'm
You gotta
walking away from the
You
table.
gotta give me something. You gotta give me something.
I don't.
You do.
No.
You do. You gotta give me
Yeah.
something. There's so much evidence, so
Yeah,
much testimony.
yeah. You know that's the difference between you and me. I like to let it be a mystery. And in this case, it's unfortunately just a little too murky for me.
That's pretty
I find it very compelling and mysterious, which is good for a show called Mystery Files.
Yes.
You're welcome. But I'd love more. Where's that camera they took out there into the woods?
Probably
you know?
classified. Imagine they had actually gotten a picture of the craft just sitting there. I wonder if even that would be enough.
I mean, with an alien for me, like the world needs to accept it.
I mean, it was in a congressional hearing.
I know, but that wasn't enough, was it?
I guess, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so it doesn't matter.
I need the government to be like, here's a photograph. Obviously, he's all fucked up because we put him on a table and tore him apart. But this is him. You can see his head and his spinal cord. I want them to release that, and for the whole world, it needs to be a paradigm shift.
It just feels like it's never gonna happen because, like, if you would have told me 10 years ago there would be a nationally televised congressional hearing where everybody in the military and who has rank would come out and tell their stories of this shit going down, I would have been like, case closed, we all believe. But that happened, and we're still in the basement. So,
Well, because they're still not delivering.
but that's what I'm saying. If they had a picture, I don't think it would be enough.
I think it would be.
They would need to like tour it around the world like P.T. Barnum. Like, this is the alien. You could poke it. It has a belly
They
button.
should do that.
They should.
Down at the Long Beach Aquarium, you can pet the rays.
Let us pet the alien.
You ever pet the rays?
Yeah, I have. It's really smooth.
Really smooth.
Like almost too smooth.
Warm.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna disagree, but then I thought about it. Yes, it was quite warm.
Maybe it feels like a ray.
So what really happened in Rendlesham Forest? Was it an alien visitation, a lighthouse misunderstood, or an elaborate prank? The truth is still out there, just beyond the edge of the trees, waiting to be uncovered. And this case remains a mystery.
Oh well.
I think it's a UFO.
I love it. It's really fun.
I can't say definitively it's a UFO, but if I had to put my money on a theory, I would say UFO. This is pretty good.
I would say of the many UFO reportings there have been, this is one of the most compelling.
I'll take it.
It's still very mysterious.
I will take that.
And I wouldn't, if you said like, gun to your head, would you say this is definitely a UFO? No, I wouldn't do that.
With the evidence presented, if my life was on the line, I'm gonna go yes. And you would say no.
I could not commit to saying that this is for sure a UFO.
Are you 50-50 or more like 30-70 or
I don't know, man. I can't.
give me something.
You always want to
Just give me something. give me a percentage.
50-50.
So we're both 50-50, but in a life or death matter, you're no, I'm yes. See, that's why the show works.
That's
right
why
there.
the show works.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see you all next time on Mystery Files.
Bye. Hello.
Hi,
This is it.
I'm just here to make a withdrawal from my bank account for $1 million.
We're just here to see some art. Yeah, I think we're selling it.